Hello and welcome to another edition of the Archeryshack Shop Talk. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
This is number 54. Thanks for tuning in. We're right in the middle of the busy season. We got about a week and a half till our season starts, and we've had a very busy day in the shop.
You ain't lying.
Lord, it was nonstop until just a little bit ago, and here we are. Quick announcement: we missed last Thursday's live night. We're probably going to miss about 2 more. We got to get through. We got so many people needing last-minute stuff. I just hate to spend, 30 minutes or an hour not tending to their stuff. So give us about 2 more weeks, and then we'll start going live again on Thursday night. So we hadn't forgot about you.
Nope.
We're just trying to get everybody took care of here. A lot of people came in this week that found us on here, so thank y'all for coming in. I never think, when we do this stuff on the internet like this, I always think about people living in Alaska and Wyoming and way away from us.
Yeah.
But I don't think about the local people. But we've had, I don't even know a number, 40, 50 people during the course of the last year come in and say, hell, I was searching on YouTube and y'all popped up and I didn't even know y'all's shop was around me and I'm 30 minutes down the road. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, not even counting the ones that come. I just live 5 minutes over the road and never knew y'all was here.
YouTube and the internet is a wild device.
It is.
How y'all doing? Y'all got anything going on? Our season starts September the 15th, next Tuesday. Georgia, right? We're only about 10 minutes from Georgia, 15 max. They're starting next Saturday. This coming Saturday, I guess when you listen to this, the 12th. That guy that was in here earlier said North Carolina starts the 12th.
Yeah.
Kentucky, I think somebody said started today.
I think Kentucky is already open.
At least parts of it. The lower part of South Carolina has been open.
Yeah.
So
I feel for them fighting mosquitoes down there.
Man, if y'all shoot a good one, and we've still not been good about posting in our Facebook group, but the Friends of the Archeryshack.
Yeah.
I've had, since we've been mentioning it, I've had a lot of people ask to join, and we've put a lot of people in there. Post a picture of whatever you shoot. We'd be interested to see it and talk about it and anything like that. So,
I wish we could go live Thursday night because that would be a good night, right? The week before we could. Well, you hadn't got your hunting rig ready yet.
I hadn't touched anything.
So I was gonna say it'd be a good little live Thursday night thing, quick and easy. But
I'm not planning on doing any hunting the first at least week of the season. I'd love to just get everybody took care of. Let it start to. I mean. We won't slow down on like arrows and that sort of thing, but we'll slow down, I think, on bows being dropped off. So it might give us a breath. But because I'd really like to do a nice video of setting up. I'm gonna set up a CT3, Vapor Trail Gen 7X, Spot Hog, Fast Eddie, the whole 9 yards. I'd love to do a big involved video, but I also don't, like I say, I don't want to do anything to take precedence over people that has left bows, so it may be a few weeks. And I'm used to, I had to be in the woods on the first day of the season, but now I could, the first week or two, let it cool down. I don't care. But I do know the nights are getting down into the 60s. I've seen starting this coming week. It's probably what we in the South call false fall.
Yeah.
And then the next week it'll be back in the 90s, which is still in the 90s during the day. But anyway.
At least the humidity, I think they're saying the humidity is supposed to be a lot lower than what it's been the last summer.
Yeah.
Last few months.
I have got emails and heard of other dealers with emails from bow companies that we don't deal with saying a lot of the bows are not going to be released in the fall like normal. They're waiting until the ATA time. And I hadn't told you this, but Bear is still releasing on October the 28th or 29th. I just got the email yesterday.
Okay.
So Bear is releasing and is a go. But PSC emailed us and said that they're going to stagger.
Stagger it.
They're going to release a little bit of stuff now, a little bit of stuff at ATA, a little bit of stuff next summer. They're just dragging it out.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that goes. I think Matthews is waiting until ATA. Another big company that I can't remember posted, it was either Hoyt or Bowtech, that they're going to wait till ATA. So I think the COVID fooled with some people's plans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious to see what comes out. I wish this could be the year if they would all get together, which they obviously hadn't because Bear's coming out, in
Yeah.
a couple of weeks now, and just bump it back to the ATA time, because it makes no sense to from an archery dealer standpoint or consumer standpoint to let hunting season start, literally wait 15 days and then release 2021 bows. You know what I mean? People just came in and was like, I want the newest bow. Here you go, buddy. 30 days later, 2021s. Now, it may take till November, December to get to 2021s, but
Yeah.
you know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and here's the other question on top of that. I mean, I've seen emails from the ATA and stuff, but are they going to actually have an in-person show this year?
I researched, because I got to get us registered, and it said as of this second, they have 100% plans of having it. But it pretty much said also, if something changes, there will be a full refund and blah, 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 blah. So with the amount of money that they take in from all these manufacturers and stuff to have it, I would imagine they're going to bend over backwards to have it, even if we're supposed to wear masks and all that stuff. But maybe by January, this stuff will be blown over. But either way, I'm starting it. We're starting hunting season. For a shop, we're kind of at the burnout point of, please, Lord God, let this be over soon. I mean, it's nice because of the product that's going out the door, but it's just like nonstop, out here all the time. If you've never owned or worked at a shop, it's hard to understand, but it's like, you do normal business, you even struggle most of the time in the spring and early summer, and then for about a month and a half, 2 months, you need like 4 times the amount of people you have. But it's like, well, I can't find 4 times the amount of people I have, so we got to handle it. And then, so we're right in the middle of that, and then probably usually it'll drop off a little bit in a week or two, and then around sometime in October it'll really tank, and then we'll have a small lull locally, and then Christmas season will hit. So we got that coming up, but. Anyway.
It's just like me and you. By the time I get home at night, I'm pretty much putting my little boy to bed so he can get up and go to school the next morning.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other night I ran and ate, did all that type of stuff. Joanna went to sleep, came back and stayed till, I think didn't get back till almost 10 at night, but then stayed till 2 or 3 in the morning, and you wake up feeling like crap, but just trying to get bows done for people. But, It's a wild ride. It's always been a wild ride.
Yeah. This year has been a little bit wilder.
Yeah, with COVID.
But, we have reached the bow limit on having them done before hunting season.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if you're local and you're listening to this, don't cuss us out if you call, but, right now.
We've took literally as many as we could take in.
Yeah.
And I know people don't care and don't care, but we're literally about spending the night out here trying to from the past couple weeks to the next week or two, just trying to get everybody happy and the bows out the door. And people still get mad about it, but we're doing everything we can do, and that's all we can do.
Yeah. So pretty much, you're what, 3 to 4 week wait now?
I don't know. It'll be one of those. Hunting season will start, and then we can reset the clock on. Because by then, everything we got to be done. We start saying a week or two probably. But I know last year, I was looking at my notes from last year, it was still significantly busier up until like first, second week of October. Nothing like it is now, but there's still a lot more people coming in than I could remember. So anyway, let's talk about spine software. A lot of people always talking about wanting to calculate running heavy weight up front and this and that and the other. I don't know who told me, but thank you on the live feed one night about the Victory Archery, the website, Victory that makes arrows. They got a nice spine selector built into their website that you can just go to on your phone, and you can type in, your arrow length, your weight, your insert weight, your tip weight, the whole 9 yards, and it'll tell you an exact spine to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I used it for Partain yesterday. He's wanting to add some weight behind his insert. Now, I do like Archer's Advantage, and it's cheap. It's $10 or so a year. But for a freebie, go to Victory Archery and look up their spine selector, because a spine is a spine. If it's a 250, for the most part, that's going to be a 250 in Black Eagle, Victory, whatever. Carbon Express is backwards, so it's not going to be same thing in Carbon Express, but Easton, whatever. So, excuse me. Definitely check it out. If you don't mind spending a few bucks, Archer's Advantage is cool. There's like 3 of them. What is it? Archer's Advantage, the archery program, they call it TAP, and I forget the name of the third one.
On Target?
On Target, yeah. I've got them all, but for some reason I always end up going back to Archer's Advantage. And for $10 a year, and I'm not in any way affiliated with them, and I go back all the way to probably 90. When Archer's Advantage first started, I was about 12 or 13 and literally bought it on a floppy disk. An archery shop that was one of the guys, Dwight, that helped me get into archery and the archery business. He said, "You want to go in and split this?" He said, "You know about computers. I don't, but I'd be willing to pay half for you to print me some sight tapes." And I said, "Sure." And I don't know where it's at, but somewhere I've still got that floppy disk. But anyway, I've been dealing with Archer's Advantage always since the 90s, and now it's an online program, and you get like spine selection, you can print sight tapes, you can do all kind of stuff. You can tweak, well, what if I shot this knock versus that knock, or this 125 grain tip versus a 100 tip, and it'll show exactly where it's at on the thing. And that's when I'm building personal arrows, I usually go to that first, and that's my starting point. I'm not saying that's like do exactly what it says, but I'm saying you get close and a little bit of variation what that program says, you're going to find some good stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, people's asked me about that this week. And as far as a sight tape goes, you can just get, who's commenting on this? Okay. Just get some sticky paper from like Walmart, and print off on it. And then some people take like a piece of shipping tape or something and stick over it to kind of preserve it.
And you can get on like Lancaster. They've got pre-made sight tapes where you make your marks, match them up. If you want to go the easy route, Excel makes some. I really like their tapes. I run them on a lot of sites. And
that's easy too, because you can buy those tapes for about $15, get you 2 marks. I like to get 3 marks. If I'm doing it, I'll do like a 20, 40, 60, and then I'll take one of those, start getting those tapes out and just line them up with your eye. Say, all right, this one matches. Let me cut it out. Let me stick it on there, and you're good to go. So let's talk about, you see this, I think, as much as I do in here. People come in and say, "Man, I can see my arrow wobbling shooting 40 yards." And what it turns out to be after much debacle is because they got, you got like 2 white fletchings and then
orange
or green. And they see that one fletching going around and around and around, and I think their arrow's wobbling, because what I think me and you both have been through is people come in and say that, "Well, let's shoot it through the paper. Bullet hole. Well, let's go do a walkback tune. Well, it looks pretty good." And then we're like, "Listen, let's do redneck, and I'm just going to stand behind you, shoot that thing down there at 40 or 60 yards. I'm going to watch it fly." And that thing shoots like a bullet.
Yep.
But you can see that from our vantage point beside, behind and a little bit beside the bow, you can see that one color swirling. But from their vantage point, they're like, this thing's doing the whirly bird. And I'm not saying every time it's that, but I'm saying from what I've seen, about 70 to 80% of the time it's that.
Oh yeah. I was guilty of it myself. I'd be shooting, and that's why pretty much now I run solid, just solid colors. If I run white, I run all white. Now my setup now, I do have an odd color fletching for my cock feather or my cock vein or whatever you want to call it. But it's just the way I set my bow up this year, or my arrows. With that, I wanted to run that specific kind of color match my bow and everything. But 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna run like all white or all green or all orange. Take that aspect out of it.
Yeah.
It
is an optical illusion.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's not every time that it's that way, but a lot of times it is. And we'll bend over backwards trying to figure out stuff for people, and finally get out there and be like, "Buddy, your arrow is shooting perfectly straight. It's that dang odd colors. It's giving you the look."
Yeah. And And I still understand why people still run an odd fletching. You know, it's just simple that way you set your knock up on your wrist or whatnot. You know, you always know my odd's gonna go up or my odd needs to go out. It's not, you know, and you get a me and you run feathers, so we're a little bit different. But most of the people I see who run veins, if they run like a solid white, they'll take a black Sharpie and just put like just a line on it. That way they can see it. They know that's the way it knocks.
Yep. But yeah, I like the all white stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna see it. It's gonna show blood.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. But anyway, I just thought to throw that out.
Yeah.
And another thing is eye dominance. I was talking to a guy in here sometime this week, and he was telling me that he's really left eye dominant, but has always shot right-handed and don't want to switch. And I told him, from what I've seen, it may take you 6 months or a year to get your stuff figured out, but if you'll shoot with that dominant eye, you're going to shoot better. And I think a lot of people just say, oh, I'm right-handed, and grab a right-handed bow and roll with it, but sometimes it's a little... That's where you get to where you almost got to close one eye shooting, or you see double vision or whatever when you shoot. So it's, you know, and a way to check that, I guess the easiest way is just like look at the wall, stick your thumb up.
Yep.
And then start closing eyes. And, you know, like if I close my left eye, my thumb stays about the same spot. But like if I close my left or right eye, it jumps out of the way. Whatever your dominant eye is where it's going to stay at. But
yeah.
And you can do the triangle trick, and there you can look it up and just YouTube it or Google it. But it's worth figuring out. And even like when I shoot left-handed bows in here tuning them, I have to really think about form and all that stuff. But
yeah,
if I had to switch, or if I did switch to left-handed, it would take a good couple months to get that figured out.
It'd probably take a little bit longer than a couple months, just because we're so used to doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm right eye dominant, but I still close my left eye.
Used to, I would almost see double vision because I guess I was almost a balance.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget when I was a kid, that was a big thing. Shoot with both eyes open. And my daddy was on me about it. And I ended up seeing two targets, thought I picked the right one, and ended up shooting his trailer. He was cussing me out, but I'm like, listen, I thought, you know, I might need to close this eye.
Yeah.
But now I can do it with both eyes open. But anyway, I think that's one part even a lot of shops miss is the guy comes in and they don't say, well, which dominant eye are you? Stabilizers. People always text me and say, what's the best stabilizer? Pretty much these days, all stabilizers are a carbon rod with a weight and some sort of rubber or doohickey hooked to them. So it's more preference than anything. You know, there's the top several brands: Bee Stinger, Conquest, Doinker,
Excel,
Limb Saver, Excel. You know, there's 5 to 10 big brands, and then there's some boys you don't hear about much, but they're all pretty much carbon rods with some sort of rubber attached or inside of them.
Yeah. Dead center.
Yeah, dead center. You know, there's a million of them.
Yeah, Trophy Ridge.
So it's just preference.
Yep.
100% preference. Some people choose a certain stabilizer because they can get it in the camo that they like. Some people choose it because they can get different colored weights that they like. You know, like for me, like weights-wise, Bee Stinger makes the coolest weights because they make like, I don't know how many, 8 or 10 different bright colors.
Yep.
So I've shot Bee Stinger and I've shot non-Bee Stinger stuff, but still put their weights on it because I think they look good. But
yeah.
Anyway, right now I'm into the Conquest stuff, but for no particular reason. You know, I just like it. But
yeah,
any of those work quite well. Let's talk about grip. We I don't know how many times a week we'll take a bow, tune it for a guy, paper tune it to us. The guy comes in and it shoots an awful hole, and we get into this mess of he's gripping it weird. Like, we've had a lot of bows, like me and TJ can shoot it bullet hole.
Mm-hmm.
The guy comes in, let's just say hard right tear, and I try to explain, you know, I don't want to take this thing out of center because of bad form, and then I feel bad sometimes because I'll have somebody change their grip and it'll paper tune, but I know, you know, what is it? I can't remember all the statistics, but it takes like 22 days. And this is probably way off, but like 22 days of a habit to get it indwelled into your mind. I mean, you know the guy's going to go home and not shoot that way.
Yeah.
But I hate taking a bow, especially center shot, out of dead center to make it paper tune. And what you'll run into is at yardages, 20 will side in, 30 might side in, 40, 50 you'll start shooting left or right or whichever way you got that rest. And the guy will be calling and be like, man, this thing, I can't get it. I think something's off. I can't get it left and right, and that's what it ends up being. But I had a guy this week, same story, would paper tune. He couldn't get it paper tune for nothing. I kept tweaking different stuff. I did a little yoke playing and a little cam playing and this, that, and the other. And I told him, I was like, listen, I can make this thing paper tune. My advice is to leave it in the center, about where it's at, and let's roll with it. But I said, if you have any problems, you let me know. But I just I'm one of those people that hates to take a bow, the center shot out of perfect center shot, and what I mean by that is, at home, an easy way to check it, especially if you got a stabilizer that sticks out a little far. The only bow that it really won't work on is some of these Hoyts
that are offset.
Yeah, that has the offset stabilizer mount. But most bows have the stabilizer mount dead center of the riser, and you can literally get up kind of high, put an arrow in the bow, line your string up with a dead center of that stabilizer, and the arrow should be right in the center of it too. And if that don't work, you can put your string dead center of the riser and then look, and the arrow should be in the center of it. That's just an easy way to eyeball it. There's gauges and stuff we got, but I'm just, you can lay that arrow. I think I've showed it on video before. Lay that arrow on the riser, make it parallel. But I just hate taking it out of center shot because of a grip problem.
Yeah.
And it seems like
a grip issue is becoming more and more popular. I don't know if it's...
I think it's just we've pushed the envelope so far on these bows that, just the way they're made is grip sensitive.
Yeah.
But it is what I mean, nobody's got mad about it or nothing. I'm just saying what I've seen.
Yeah.
But a lot of finicky grip stuff going on.
Yeah, there's one out there that I cannot shoot. I can't, I sat in here one day, guy dropped it off, said he was still hitting, what was it? We was getting some fletching contact somewhere. I was like, well, just leave it with me, let me, give me about an hour. And he, put a new rest on, went back there, shot it through paper, got a little bit of a tear. And I said, okay, it ain't a little left-hand tear, no big deal. So I moved my air rest just slightly to the right a little bit, went back in there and got some weird tear. And I'm like, something ain't right. Checked the timing on the wrist, did everything I know to do, and I'm like, and I kept shooting and kept shooting. I was like, I even put a biscuit on it and couldn't get the bullet hole with a biscuit. And I was like, okay, it's me. It's something to do with me and this bow. And I remember you just walked in right before the guy did. I said, here, everything's lined down the center. Everything's in time. I said, you shoot it and see if you get a bullet hole. And sure enough, you bullet hole it twice back to back. And I'm like, I don't know whatever it was, but it had to be that bow had to be grip sensitive for me.
Well, and that's like, it's not often, but we'll get a bow that just will not agree with an arrow. And like when we get a bow, usually what I'll do, if I do all my usual tuning and it's weird, I'll look it back over, maybe do a little tinkering, but if it's still crazy, I'll be like, all right, TJ, or whoever, shoot it. If they get the same tear, then I'm like, okay, we got a bow problem. Then I start looking at different stuff, and that one of the first things I'll do is take the same spine, but maybe of a different manufacturer, or even go a little stiffer or weaker, whatever I need to do. And if that cleans it up, I'm like, okay, this could be a potential. This bow don't like it. Especially if it's a weak arrow, you have a lot more. You can make an overspined arrow tune right, but a weak one, a lot of times, no. So if it needs to be a stiffer spine, that's the problem. And then if we still can't figure it out, that's the next thing. I'll change the rest on it and be like, well, maybe this thing ain't dropping quick enough, or God knows what. Put a biscuit on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's a consistent rest.
Yeah.
And if that fixes it, all right, well, let's look at what's going on with the rest. If that don't fix it, there's like a long chain, and we usually don't have to go all the way down it, but sometimes it'll be like, I got this thing squared up and all this, and it's giving me this weird tear. You shoot it. But
that was like me in that one. I had everything down the center, squared up. I mean, you couldn't ask for no better, and I just couldn't shoot it.
But anyway,
Cool.
we'll wrap this up. Keep it kind of short today,
Yeah.
and next week y'all get everything ready if you're in South Carolina for hunting season, and let us know if we can do anything to help you. We, like TJ said, if you're local, probably won't take any more restrings in that can be ready by hunting season, but we'll still have tons of people coming in for tinkering, you know what I mean? Like putting in peeps and little tune-ups and looking overs and all that stuff. So
just remember, as you're getting ready for season, check all your stuff, do that safety check.
Yep.
And also wear your safety harness.
Y'all be safe out there.
See y'all.